see my phone. Mine's like ancient.
You're the mom.
Well,
You're the last one to get the nice phone.
my husband's friend was doesn't know.
Okay, I think it's fixed. Yay. All right. So.
Yeah, but I did a breakfast for dinner at least one.
So your third still on Friday night? I don't know. Well, I can show it from here.
Grits and eggs. I had grits and toast last night for dinner because I wasn't feeling great. And that's kind of
All right, everybody. Well, I'm just going to demonstrate for you something that was really cool. It was a nice surprise. It was on the Fulton County Math Unit. It showed this as a technology source, and it's called the National Library of Virtual Manipulatives. And so went in, I was teaching subtraction with regrouping, and I was very happily surprised at what I found. So I used to use a lot of Danielle Klaus's manipulatives that she put on for Active Studio, and they kind of disappeared when we got a new version. And so this has got everything and then some. So it's actually a National Science Foundation supported project, and they keep adding and adding and adding manipulatives. And it's geared towards K through 2, which is K through 12, which is perfect for us. So I went in here to pre-K through 2 numbers and operations, and I found this really cool manipulative. It's called base blocks subtraction. And so I had the kids working on their desk with their own manipulatives, base 10 blocks, and which is kind of hard when you're regrouping. And so here I was able to create a problem. It will make problems for you, but I was able to create a problem like the one that they had on their desk. And I could change the amount of columns. Let's say I wanted just hundreds, tens, and ones. Or if I was in kindergarten, I just had tens and ones, I could do that. But let's say I'm going to create my own problem, so I just click here. And I want to show 321, and I want to take away, and don't let that plus sign bother you, because it's going to change. I'm going to subtract 134. Okay, so the kids learned, okay, there's more on the floor, 1 minus 4, I can't do that, so go next door. I have to click begin problem. I almost forgot to do that. That's the one little trick you have to know. Begin problem, go next door, get 10 more. So they love this, watch. They bring their 10 over and it regroups. Woo, magic. So then you can see over here, it shows them the regrouping. So then they just come down and they drag these on top to subtract the 4. So take away 1, and they disappear. 2, 3, 4. And then it shows them the subtraction. 11, I just took away 4, and now I only have 7 left. Pretty cool. So then they're subtracting 1, take away 3, can't do that. Go next door, get 10 more. Woo! And sometimes you have to move them a little bit. I wish they kind of separated a little bit more neatly so the kids could see all that. But now 11 take away 3, and so they're going to take away their 1, 2, 3, and it shows that it's 8. And then here, 2 take away 1. And there's your answer. So very cool. You can do whatever you're doing, and you can adjust it, of course, make it more difficult for your grade level or easier for whatever you're teaching, kindergarten. I've used a lot of other really neat things. The bar chart is really cool because if you create these yourself, it takes forever. But let's say you wanted to graph birthdays or apples or whatever you guys did in kindergarten. So here's your months, and you can change the number of rows and columns if you wanted. Let's say I wanted all the months of the year. I could put 12, and then I could put enough rows to include all my kids on there. And then they can come up and they can just graph their birthday or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's kind of neat. And you can put your label in. So, things that might take you a lot of time, normally they're just right here and ready for you to use. And so I also really like this one. We're getting ready to do multiplication in 2nd grade. So I'm going to use this rectangle multiplication of integers, and, let's see, that's not the one, okay, just rectangle multiplication. so here it shows them the multiplication array, and voila, they can see 6 groups of 7, they can see the array. There's just so many things on here. You could go for months and not run out of things to do. Here's money, and I've just barely scratched the surface of what is available on here, but let's say that I wanted them to tell me how much money. They would just type it in, and it's self-checking, so it makes a great center. Not all of them are self-checking, I found out, but some of these are. Pay the exact amount, pull the money down into here to make $40 in the box, and then check it. That's correct. Or make $1, and they could be doing it on their desk while somebody's up here doing it, and then later on they could do it in a center, so they've seen what to do, and now they are able to just do it on their own. New problem, it'll keep making new problems for you. Time is something that we just finished. I know everybody does that. So, oops, okay, so let's go back in here to time. So I'm going to go back into my library, and I'm going to go under measurement, and of course I'm K through 2, so I'm going to go right here. And we were just working on elapsed time. So all the kids had Judy clocks at their desks, and they were all doing it together at their desks while somebody came up front, and so show what time it will be in 20 minutes by moving the hands on the second clock. So they had to tell the time on the first clock, and then they all counted out loud, 5, 10, 15, 20, and it wants to pop back, and then they can check their answer, correct. And so, it's a great way for them to visualize what's going on with the clock and whether they were correct, and they can all use it at their desk too. So lots and lots of different things that you can use on here. This geo board is neat if you're doing geometry. It actually has rubber bands that you can put on your geo board and move them. I mean, it's just so neat. There's so many things that you can do on there. So, and I could get another rubber band and make whatever shape I'm wanting. And then so I'm just going to kind of buzz through a bunch of them just so you can see some of the choices. Now, back to, let's see, geometry. You can see how it's broken up into some of the different applications and different manipulatives, they overlap into different grade levels. So, I was using, let me go back here. I was using in second grade, I was using what time will it be, and if I go back and I look for third grade, I'm going to find that same thing. So you can look under your own grade level, and it will show things that are more appropriate for your grade level, but some of the same things are there. So here's like match the clocks. So here, match the time on the digital clock by clicking the arrow button. So they have to tell what time it is here, and they can check their answer. So the hour is 2:25, and they check their answer. And so everyone could be doing it at their desk while somebody's doing it up here. You're just even modeling. And then create a new problem. And then here, what analog and digital clocks. So if you're teaching that, you can teach about the second hand if you wanted to, or let's say you didn't want that and you didn't want to confuse them with that, you can take it away. You can show the current time and teach, if you were talking about what time it is now, or you could take that away and you could set the clock to whatever you want it to be. And then you could have them, so you can link the two clocks, or you can unlink them and have them come up and say, all right, what time is it on my clock? And they could come over here and change the digital clock to show the time. And So you could adjust this. Let's say that you're working on, you have a practice sheet that everybody has in your small group, or if you were giving an example to a whole group, everyone could have their duty clock, and then you could do it up here and show the time. So let's see some other choices. I know that. Numbers and operations. There's a lot, base blocks, or it's sometimes a lot for little ones to have all the base blocks on their desk. So this is neat because you can just show numbers up here. Let's say you want them to show a number on their desk, or to demonstrate a certain number. And of course, again, you can change the columns. Let's say you were teaching kindergarten and you only wanted tens and ones. You can do that. Or if you were teaching fourth grade and you wanted thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So, and I think as you go up, there's going to be even more place values. Because right now I'm in the K through 2 base blocks. And it says here grades pre-K through 2. So if you went to the next section, it would probably give you 10,000s, 100,000s, and so on. So as you can see, like there's so much on here. It's really neat. There's just a lot of choices. Here's a hundreds chart, and so I know my hundreds chart on the backboard. I've lost numbers, and if I want to show number patterns, I have to go back and I have to change all of those and change the colors, and that's time consuming. So here. I've got a hundreds chart, but if I want to go, like for instance, I'm about to teach multiplication in second grade. So if I wanted to show okay, the seed of Eratosthenes. I guess I said that right.
No,
Let's say I wanted to show the kids, I'm teaching them multiplication, and I wanted to show them multiples of 5 on my hundreds chart. Whoops. I just removed those. So I'm going to reset it. So I wanted to show, I don't want to remove multiples, I want to show multiples. So multiples of 5, there it is. I don't have to actually bother with all those little cards. I can show it right here. Or I can reset, and I wanted to show them all the multiples of 2. There they are. So this would be really helpful with number patterns, multiplication, whatever you need your hundreds chart for. And then I'm going to go in here to rectangle multiplication, and when I start my multiplication unit this next week, I can actually show them arrays, and it shows the multiplication problems. So that's really neat. They can come up and change the arrays, and if you're in a higher grade level, it goes into negative numbers and different quadrants, and so I mean it just goes all over in different directions with different skill levels that you can use. There's a lot of stuff on fractions in here, so you can kind of see it goes in here to 3 through 5 and so on. So let's say you were teaching fractions. I see a lot of fourth graders in here. So here's fraction pieces. So you can show fractions. I haven't actually used some of these, but you can kind of see there's a lot of versatility, a lot of different things you can use. And you can do circles or squares, square pieces for fractions. I'm going to go back to second grade. So if I wanted to show parts of a whole, here's my fraction. I've got one piece. I want 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and I can divide the fraction into equal pieces. If I wanted to show 1/3, there I can show that 2/3. So some of these, it's not self-checking. Like this wouldn't be necessarily a self-checking center, but you can model concepts for kids up on your board. So that it's really handy because it's just right there. Visualizing fractions, 4 out of 11. So how many pieces do I need? I need 11. So kids could do that, come up and show the fraction, and I've got 4 out of 11. There it is. So just a lot of different choices on here. I mean, you could just, I'm sure that probably anything you're teaching, you could just sift through this and find something that would be really useful to you, and just something that you could use just at the touch of a button. So I thought it was really handy. I was really pleased with the versatility and all the different choices that are on here. Let's see, here's, look at that bar chart. I mean, there's so much I haven't even looked at yet. Here's adding fractions. So I think maybe 4th grade is going to add fractions. So here's where they could do that. Adding fractions. I haven't really played with that because we haven't done that in 2nd grade yet. But just to kind of jump in here and look at a few things. I think 3rd grade is going to start on time, so you might could use the elapsed time, the little elapsed time on there. What else are you guys interested in that maybe we could look at?
Our time's,
What are you gonna be
time's
teaching?
almost up.
Okay.
Just so you know.
time's almost up. All right. Well, you can go in and just play around and go into your grade level and see what's available.
It is free. It is free.
It's free.
Yeah.
Free trial.
Thank you.
And Bill actually put a link to it on the 2nd grade folder, so you could ask him. I don't know if it's in all grade level folders, but I think it's pretty handy to have, so you could ask him to put it on there. Right now.